Hey guys, this is Bridget, and today I want to talk to you about something that has been deeply stirring to me. I've been reading Corey Goode's blog from the Sphere of Being Alliance. If you haven't seen that, I'll put the link and you can go check it out. And if you don't know about Corey Goode and the whole space program and cosmic disclosure, go check it out. That's your preliminary work for this video. But for those of you who do and know what I'm talking about, Corey was interacting in this blog that he talked about with a being called Raw-Tier Air that's a very high dimensional density being. And in the interaction, he was telling Corey that if right now there was an ascension harvest, if the people that were ready for ascension actually ascended, there would only be
0.004%
that actually would ascend. Okay, did you hear that number? And I think my dad calculated it's like 3 million people, but I've seen Corey Goode put actually 300,000 people. So the point is, it's a very small number, and this was shocking to me. And of course the first question that came to mind is like, am I in that number? Like, would I ascend right now, or would I not? And then the next thing that came to me is, who cares if I'm actually in the number and going to ascend or not? What am I doing in service to the world, in service to my personal growth, and in service to you? And that is the real question behind, does it matter or not? Now, the thing that it's done for me is it's highly motivating, and I don't know if these kind of things are motivating for you or if they're demoralizing and sad, but for me it motivates me. It's like, what can I do? What's the next step that I haven't looked at to really transform and really awaken even more? So that's the thing that's been a little interesting for me in the spiritual community and in the ET communities, is that, especially among the starseeds, there's this idea that we've already made it. You know, that we're living in the fifth dimension and no one else is. And I want to call bullshit on that. Yes, are we hitting peak, states of consciousness at certain times? For sure. Are we oscillating between the two? Yes. Have we fully awakened? No. Because if we had fully awakened, well, one, we would be acting like Jesus and just completely unconditionally giving in every possible situation, and we're just not there yet. So I want to kind of draw in and bring light to the spiritual ego in this whole thing, and I like this percentage that Raw-Tier Air has given, because it's showing, dude, spiritual egos, there's more than, say, the 300,000 or even 3 million in the spiritual community. That means we're not all fully awakened. So we have to kind of let that humble us, because when we can get into this humbled state and first of all go, whoa, I might not be there yet, that's going to be a very special place to step forward into new stages of development, into new ways of asking the real questions of what this life is truly about. Because sometimes we can get distracted and it's like, oh, I've arrived, I'm there. And that completely, I think it's actually a negative program that somehow kind of was infiltrated into the spiritual community, that you're already there, you've got it, to not make us go deeper. And the thing is even if we were, fourth density, if we had ascended to the fifth dimension, there's so much more to expand. There's infinity to explore. And that's part of this whole conversation, is there is no arrival. And just like I did a video on my personal channel about, it's about the journey, not the destination. We're never gonna get there, because there's no there to get to, because it is ever evolving, it is ever expanding. The new forms, the new integrations, the new discoveries, the new levels of consciousness are just constantly expanding, constantly available. And again, getting back to this place of, I haven't arriven yet, I haven't fully awoken. Yes, am I aware of a lot more than maybe the sleeping general public? Yes, have I awoken up kind of like a pseudo Neo in the Matrix to the idea that, oh my gosh, this whole thing is an illusion, and all of these concepts, experiencing them viscerally, experiencing them conceptually, and really understanding them. Yes, we might be there, and that's awesome, because that's the first place to step forward into. But have we fully embodied the fact that this is never ending? And it's one of those things too that I like to bring in the idea of, we're moving into a place, a stage, where we're going to start living, say, hundreds of years. And when you have hundreds of years, it really takes away that whole Western mindset of bringing that accomplishment, oh, we reached our goal, the fifth dimension. It's like, this isn't a business. This is spiritual awakening. It's a very different thing. And if you were in your body, even just in this incarnation for hundreds of years, that would be pretty profound, and that's a lot of time. That's a lot of expansion, and that doesn't even count once we have fully remembered all of who we are and remembered the oversoul, and more embodying that, all of the experiences possible throughout time, throughout all these incarnations, which just is endless. Another thing this whole idea brings up in me is that it feels very similar in a way to the judgment that you may have felt with certain religious groups. Like, I grew up non-Mormon in a very Mormon community, and I felt so judged. Like, everyone I was just around pretty much just telepathically, and maybe even would say, like, you're going to hell. And I'm like, what? Like, that's so not fair. You don't even know me. You don't know anything about my energy, anything about who I am, and to just say that that's what my experience is really unfair. And so I feel like it can happen also in this conversation of who's ascending, who's not. It's like, oh, those are 3D muggles. You know, they're asleep. That's so not cool, and it's doing the exact same thing. It's creating separation, and what we're really trying to do is create unity, right? So, in light of all of this that we're talking about, my invitation to myself, as I've been humbled by this number, and again, I want to say that once a prediction is made, that prediction is no longer valid, because in hearing the prediction, you then shift yourself to a different reality, where you could have then realized that you needed to change, or it could change everything. So it's no longer a fixed number. That's not a fixed number. It's completely different right now. But let's use that. Let's use that as fuel to really look at ourselves and ask ourselves the really good questions. Not, have I awoken? Am I ascending? Am I already in the fifth dimension? Those aren't really good questions. The real questions, going back to, spirituality 101, are really like, how am I giving today? How am I opening and just cracking open my heart to love more? How can I move past triggers and judgments in others that totally bring that up in me, and somehow find compassion, somehow find love, and a way to feel that oneness and see that reflection? How can I give? How can I express myself more fully? How can I be present in this moment so that I can really take in all of eternity through my being and radiate that to everyone else? So these are some of the questions that we need to be asking ourselves as everything is transitioning. And the thing is we are transitioning totally. The thing is just staying in that humble, heartfelt service to others mindset and heart space is going to be the thing that really ends up getting us there. And we can't do it because it gets us there. We have to do it from a very authentic place. And I've been having these these really bad, kind of like crazy nightmares the past week or so, where I was like nuked in like an atomic bomb drop. I've been like run around like being murdered, like just really strange stuff I have never experienced before in dream time. And what it's showing me is, even if somehow I did end up on a negative timeline, okay, fine, whatever. but I'm doing my part. All I can do is my best, and if I'm doing my best, whatever that the circumstance unfolds itself to be, whatever the reality presents, okay, so be it. But I'm going to just be the best that I can, and I'm going to serve the utmost that I can. So those are some thoughts for you. I hope that that's helpful. It's a fascinating topic. I'll put the link to the blog below so that you can read it and take in the energy, because it's really potent, really powerful. And actually, Corey is coming here tomorrow for our retreat. And so we're going to be doing a video interview. So I'll either have that up next Tuesday or the following Tuesday with more questions. And if I might not get to it, but if you do have a question for him, I might be able to ask. So comment below, and we'll see if it's a question that I can get in there. So if you want to do that, feel free. And if you like videos like this, please subscribe, like, and share. Spread the word, spread your light. That's all that really matters. And I'll either be back next Tuesday or the following. And if you want more videos in the meantime like this, please go to my personal channel, youtube.com/TheBridgetNielsen, and that is all about the personal development, how we can give, love, connect even more. So check that out in the meantime, and I'll see you soon.